As time goes by, I am amazed at how things have changed in gravity as far as that the people fall for everything and stand on nothing. The morality in general has been decimated in the thoughts of children and adults of all ages, including teachers, judges, sheriffs, mayors, and etc., feeding their forever appetite, living from within their gut. More speakers and not enough of those who would help the poor, feed the hungry, clothe the naked, visit the sick, and care for the poor children and widows. Instead, there is government funding that steals from the people only to build larger homes and secure their assets, and your family is divided and cut asunder to become eligible for their governmental funding. The lawlessness against particular people and injustices that continue on either side are far and wide. It's awful. It is a vicious cycle. The fake narrative sent out by dragons who report false news only to instigate, incite, or to gaslight one to a pushing point that brings destruction. Too many of today's so-called black excellence that cannot compare to yesterday's black strength that held family together. Nevertheless, they are joined hand in hand to scientific and political madness that's fair weather. Also, the compass of the family structure is officially broken in today's time. Furthermore, we are going to go over a book in which we will call this book of the month. This book was about the time of the bishops. I can only imagine a group of men in a time that are pressed to follow God's law, because as yesterday time was in the 13th century, it's the same as today, but worse. Shalom, shalom, man. That's a beautiful Sabbath, man. Very beautiful Sabbath. And I hope wherever you are in your respectful places that you're having a very beautiful day. But we're going to get into this rare text that's called the Codex of Trinirensis. You know, this goes back in the time of the 13th century, a time of the bishops, you know, a call to discipline, right? A call to a certain mindset of how to live. And most assuredly, if we see that, what we see today is only the fruit of what, or the seed of what was predominantly sowed throughout this world. And that's what we see. You know, we see rapine, we see lasciviousness, we see greed, we see robbery, we see oofing. That's what my children like to call it, oofing. You know, we get out of here. It's very awful. A lot of things are happening. We're seeing brother turn against brother, you know, daughter against mother, son against father, father against son. You know, nations within a nation, destroying a nation, genocide, very awful things. But I find it very interesting how there are those, quote unquote, who say that these texts wasn't supposed to be read. And I mean, quite assuredly they weren't supposed to be read, because we know throughout history things were being set up to what we see today. Talking about you want to have things in control, things are totally out of control. However, let's go into this text. Concerning the signs of the Antichrist and the signs that herald him, we won't start with verse 1, only due to a description of what antibubbles would look like. There also is so many, as in the Ante-Nicene, Irenaeus, Bishop of Lyons, and many more extra-biblical texts that give various descriptions. If one studied and meditated on God's word, the conviction to know the testimony of the lives of the saints, it becomes more desirable. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. So let us prove all things. There should be signs in the heavens. Let us look and see. Signs right here in this picture and many more. I can go on for days, for there are many signs one sees, even with these so-called eclipses. There are numerous pictures. A rainbow, a horn, and a torch shall be seen.
Double rainbow! Double rainbow!
Rainbows have been seen close up and nearby in some of the most beautiful fashions. It's amazing. But not those rainbows. That's the obvious. But these. A horn and a torch. Horns in ancient times were long, stretched out, such as Tutukman's cursed trumpet and the Chinese trumpet. Long shape-like figures, shaped like trumpets, especially this one, and the bell side, cast a shadow, favors an eclipse. I mean, the evidence is here, in fact, everywhere. Aztec Emperor Montezuma even viewed it as a negative sign. Ultimately, noises and voices. I'm sure we can remember, and it still goes on from time to time.
What on earth? What? Whoa. Shh. Aspen, here. Here.
And eruptions of the sea and loud sounds of the earth. Also, upon the earth shall be signs. There will be dragons born of men, and meaning disobedient children, thugs, punks, misfits, and likewise of beast and creeping things, robotic insects, clones, and hybrid animals. Newly wedded damsels shall bring forth babies, speaking coherent words and announcing the end times and begging to be killed. That's suicide amongst the youth. Their appearance will be that of those advanced in years, for their hair will be gray. Women shall also give birth to four-footed babies, and some shall give birth to spirits only. Miscarriages. Some shall be diviners in the womb, and will also be able to throw their voices. There shall be many, many monstrous things. Exercises of the body profiteth little. Keep your mind on God and your head on a swivel. Blessings, my friends. Speak to you soon.